What happens when a superstar vanishes? When the goals stop, the lights go out, and all that's left is a long, silent road back from an injury that ends careers? This is the story of a resurrection. A story of pain, doubt, and one magical night in Milan that forced the world to remember a name. But the strangest part of this comeback isn't the struggle to return. It's the shocking, unanswered question that came after the triumph. This journey reveals the true cost of second chances in a sport that rarely offers them. For 11 long months, the world kept moving while Gabriel Jesus stood still. Matches were played. Goals were scored, trophies were chased. But for him, time slowed down to a painful crawl. Every morning began the same way. Rehab, training rooms, silence, and one heavy thought that refused to go away. Would football ever feel normal again? Imagine being at the top of your game, the spark for a team chasing glory. Now imagine it all shattering in one silent twist. For Gabriel Jesus, that was January 2025, an ACL injury. The kind of diagnosis that sends a cold chill through any athlete. Minimum 9 months out. In football time, that's a lifetime. The team moves on, new signings arrive, fixtures come and go. And you are left behind, not in the spotlight, but in the quiet, clinical world of the treatment room. The manager would later call it a lonely road, a path walked alone, while the roar of the stadium feels like a distant memory. So, how do you even begin to climb back from a place like that? The first step is just getting back on the grass. Months of slow, frustrating work, building the strength back, trusting the knee again, watching from the sidelines. The comeback finally came in October, a substitute appearance, a tap-in goal, a huge release of emotion. But let's be honest, after 11 months, does one goal erase the doubts? Recovery doesn't happen under stadium lights. It happens in empty rooms, alone. Day after day, no crowds, no applause, just repetition, pain, doubt. Mikel Arteta later described that period with one word, lonely, and that word carries weight. Because loneliness is where questions grow, questions about form, about value, about whether the team still needs you. For everyone watching, it just changes the question. Now it's not, can he play? But can he ever be who he was? Can he ever be that fearless, game-changing force again? Or is he just another player now? The answer would come under the brightest lights in football, the Champions League. Away at the famous San Siro stadium against Inter Milan, his first start back in the competition. His first real test. For over 2 years he hadn't scored in this tournament. The pressure was absolute. For the first 20 minutes, it was a quiet battle. He worked, he pressed, but the game seemed to flow around him. The story was being written, a hard try, but not enough. Then a moment, a scramble in the box, the ball pops loose. It's not a clean chance, it's a messy, hungry chance. And the striker's instinct, buried for so long, fires, the net ripples. The silence of the San Siro is deafening. But what happens next is what separates a goal from a statement. The celebration isn't just joy, it's pure, raw release. Every single day of those lonely months is released in that scream to the sky. Yet he wasn't finished. Later, a second goal, cleaner, more decisive. A brilliant brace at the home of Italian giants. Arsenal wins 3-1. He is named player of the match. He calls it a dream night. And just like that, the ghost was gone. The forgotten man was now the headline hero. So, with that kind of fairy tale ending, the story must be over, right? A player conquers his demons and rides off into the sunset. But that's not how this story goes. The most confusing chapter was just beginning. Think about what you would do after your greatest triumph. You'd celebrate, you'd feel secure. Now watch what happens next. Days after the miracle in Milan, Gabriel Jesus sits in a press conference. He talks about being happy. He says he wants to win trophies at Arsenal. He says he wants to sign a new contract to stay for years. And then he says the quiet part out loud. He reveals that the club has not talked to him about it. No conversations, no offers, just silence after the heroics. He even voices his frustration with his injury history while at the club. So what does that mean? What game is really being played here? This is the brutal reality of modern football. A player can fight through hell, deliver a legendary performance, and still find his future as a giant question mark. His dream night proved he could still be world class. but it also highlighted the club's dilemma. They had spent huge money on a new striker while he was injured. The competition for his place was fiercer than ever. So, was his glorious return a ticket to security, or just a brilliant audition for other clubs? How can a player prove his worth if the goalposts keep moving? Let's rewind the tape and look at the full picture: the injury, the lonely rehab, the emotional return goal, the historic brace in Milan, the public plea for a new deal. Each step is a layer. This isn't just a sports comeback. It's a human story about proving your value. It's about shouting, "I am still here," to a world that has already started to look away. That night in Milan was his shout. But sometimes after the shout, all you hear is your own echo. The silence can be confusing. Is the club's silence a negotiation tactic? Is it a lack of trust in his body? Or is it just cold, hard business? Now stand in his shoes for a moment. You have given everything. You have conquered the biggest mental and physical challenge an athlete can face. You have answered every question on the field. And yet the most important question off it remains unanswered. Where do you belong? The contract is more than just money and years. It's a promise. It's a sign that says, "We believe the future is with you." Without it, no matter how loud the cheers were in Milan, a whisper of doubt remains. Can you ever truly feel at home if you're waiting for the door to close? This leads to the final haunting thought. What is a comeback truly for? Is it to reclaim a spot on the team sheet? Is it to hear the cheers again? Or is it to find something deeper, a sense of purpose that not even an injury can take away? Gabriel Jesus fought for all of it. He fought to wear the shirt, to score the goals, to feel that adrenaline once more. But perhaps the hardest fight wasn't for a place in the starting 11. Perhaps the hardest fight is for a place in the long-term plan. A fight he can't win alone with goals. A fight that requires a handshake from a boardroom he never sees. So what is the real price of resurrection? It's paying for one perfect night with 11 months of pain. It's proving every doubter wrong, only to face a new, more complicated doubt. It's reaching the peak of the mountain, only to see another steeper peak ahead. Gabriel Jesus did the impossible. He came back from the edge. He showed his heart, his skill, and his fire are all very much intact. But as he stood in that press conference, speaking his truth into those microphones, a new challenge became clear. The challenge of patience. The challenge of uncertainty. The challenge of waiting for an answer that may never come in the way he hopes. The greatest comebacks are never just about returning to where you were. They are about changing the story. He changed it from one of injury to one of triumph. Now, the story waits for its final chapter. Will it be written as a legend who stayed and conquered, or a hero who proved his point and moved on? The answer isn't in his hands anymore, and that might be the most difficult truth of all. The climb back from oblivion is brutal, lonely, and long. But sometimes waiting at the top can feel just as lonely. If this story of resilience hit home, let us know by hitting the like button. For more deep dives into the human stories behind the game, tap subscribe and ring the bell. The conversation continues in the comments after that brave public plea. What should Arsenal do? Extend his contract, or is the future elsewhere? Thanks for watching.